Hey guys, Cassie Deputy here. I just wanted to come on here and give an update as to how things are going. So if this is your first video, I'm Cassie Deputy. I am a homeschooling mom of 8 kids, and usually this channel is about home educating and homesteading and things like that, but I was in a go-karting accident 5.5 weeks ago, I think it was. 4.5 weeks ago, something like that, and ended up with a traumatic brain injury. So I don't even remember what I said in my last update, but basically I had, it's really hard for me to get my thoughts together. So I had like nausea, dizziness, vertigo, headaches, migraines, throwing up, and I couldn't walk the first, I don't remember, a couple weeks, I think, on my own at all. My goat's really sad. She wants to go in the barn. Couldn't walk on my own. I regained that a couple weeks in, and then we figured out I was having seizures at night, multiple seizures. They're called partial seizures or focal seizures, I guess. And I haven't really been able to research them much, but I would have anywhere from 12 to 30 of them that I could remember and count. There was one night where I had like a full-blown seizure. I had a dream, and in my dream I had a seizure, and I woke up and I was like, my body temperature was through the roof. I just felt like garbage. I had a serious like mental breakdown the next day. We ended up going to the ER and getting some MRI scans done, which my neurologist person wanted. And then I went to my specialist that I'm seeing, and he did some more further testing. And one of the things he did was he put me in front of this light board. It was a board, and it had like hundreds of little buttons that lit up. And so I just pushed the buttons. And I didn't even realize, but I didn't see any of the buttons above me, which is, and I can't remember everything, but something like when you have damage to your temporal lobe, you can't see that area, something like that, which is also an indicator of seizure activity. So I was having those, I would say, a week ago. I had 3 nights in a row where I was literally in bed till 5 or 6 in the morning, having seizure after seizure after seizure after seizure, tossing and turning all night long till 5 or 6 in the morning, and then I would finally fall asleep for a couple hours. And I was throwing up, and I was just at my wit's end. This was about a week ago, 3 days in a row. And then a week ago, before that, I actually had thought I heard the Lord say to go on the ketogenic diet. And I was like, okay, that makes sense. I mean, that's probably just me, because I know that the ketogenic diet helps with epilepsy, so whatever. So then I had another person confirm that to me, and then I had a third, and then my neurologist, when I pitched it to him, he replied back and he was like, that's a phenomenal idea. I put my patients typically on like a paleo keto type thing. So thankfully, well, not thankfully, but praise God, our best friends, their son has epilepsy, and so they have had him on keto. I think he's going on year 3. So they know how to measure everything. So they sat down with me, and they helped me come up with the measurements for, like, I don't know how many meals and snacks, probably like 20 meals, 20 snacks, something like that. So it's based off of like, I get 3 meals, 3 snacks. It adds up to like 2,000 calories or something like that. And then it's 70% of my calories are fat. Is that right? Or is it 75? I don't know, something like that. So they did all the work for me, and then my best friend came over and she made a ton of food. So I just open the fridge and I eat at the time that I'm supposed to eat. And I'm not kidding you, 24 hours after starting the ketogenic diet, my tremors completely ceased. And I slept. Like, I actually went to bed and fell asleep. I still had some muscle twitching a little bit. After the next day, so I think it took me a little over 24 hours to actually get into ketosis. So the second day on keto, the seizures stopped and the muscle twitching stopped and all of that stopped, which was like, I was like, no, that's not right. So then then I went to bed that night and I had no seizures, no muscles, no tremors, no nothing. So then the next day I was like super shocked and I actually felt pretty better. Like, I walked with my kids out to the pasture. We walked around. We talked about stuff. I tried to read with them, and I can't read. I tried to do math with my boys, and I can't do math. I can't even do, like, basic math. And then went to bed that night, fell right asleep. And then now I think I'm on day 4 or something, and I'm still in ketosis. So I went to my appointments today. I went to my therapy this morning. It's really cold out. I went to my therapy this morning and I told him everything and he was really excited, which made me really excited. And we weren't going to be able to start therapy for a while because of how exasperated my symptoms were. I mean, even just in his office, I would just shake and twitch. Like, it was the most embarrassing thing. I could not control myself. I was so embarrassed. And everything he tried to do, I was like on the verge of vomiting. So he's like, look, you just meet with me once a week. We'll try to calm your system down. So I wore earplugs. I wore sunglasses. I just tried everything I could to minimize the input going into my head that I could in a house with 8 kids, right? So I met with him today. And we actually started some therapy today. And I was really encouraged, like, so encouraged that I was like, wow, I can actually walk down this hallway without falling over. Like, I can actually push these buttons. We did it 6 times and I did pretty good. I still missed some stuff, but we did a bunch of different little things today. And we did some laser therapy. And then I had some vitamin C IVs after that. So it was like hopeful, you know. But I am absolutely shocked at how much this ketogenic diet has been helping my brain trauma. Like, I know that the doctor told me today it's going to be a really long road. Like, he said, with how severe things are. He listed off all the different parts of my brain that he believes are damaged, and it's more than what I thought. I thought it was only 3 or 4 parts, but he listed like 7 or 8 different parts. And he's like, look, Cassie, it's going to be probably 3 months of gentle therapy before we can actually start getting in there and really hitting it hard. So I just need to be patient. So I'm on day 4 of this keto. I'm still in a horrible brain fog. I'm still crazy dizzy. I cannot drive in the car. I get so incredibly nauseous. It's ridiculous. Moving things in front of me, like when people talk and they use their hands, I feel like I'm going to throw up. I can't read and understand anything unless it's in French, which is, I keep forgetting to talk to him about that at my appointments. And I can't do math. I can't do probably 70% of the stuff that I used to do. And that's one of the big things the Lord is teaching me through all of this, is how incredibly prideful I am in what I can do. God has greatly gifted me with the ability to, like, I have a lot of skills, and I'm very prideful in the fact that I can get it all done. And I know, like, this was very much instilled in me at a young age. I, had to take care of myself and my sisters, and And so I was always kind of in that fight and flight mode, always, 100% of the time for years and years and years. And I have a really hard time coming out of that. And I have a really hard time allowing other people to do things for me and trusting other people to do things for me and trusting that they have my best interest in mind. And so the Lord is literally, I know this is a work he's been trying to do in me for years. I just thought it wasn't that bad until this trial, until I can't homeschool my kids. I can't cook. I can't clean my own house. I can't attend church because being there is so overstimulating. I literally start having tremors and bawling my eyes out, and I have anxiety attacks, and I just need to go home. Like, it is humiliating. So there's a lot that the Lord's doing. He's doing another work in me in that same area that is really uncomfortable, to let other people do things for me and to trust that the Lord has it all. Because I guess my biggest struggle in all of this was, God, you must have made a mistake, because you called me to all these things. You called me to raise my kids. You called me to homeschool them. You called me to be a helpmeet to this man who wants to do things in politics, and I want to support him, and I want to, compliment him in whatever way you want me to. I want to lead worship. I want to write worship music. I want to be at all these events and lead worship. Like, clearly you made a mistake. Like, especially like this is harvest time. Like, this is the most busy, exciting time on our first year on the farm, and you must have made a mistake. And literally I did my devotions this morning that I was doing this arguing with God. And the proverb, it was something like, the man casts lots, but all the things are, all the plans or all the outcome is in the Lord's hands. And then in my Amplified Bible, it says, there are no mistakes with God. And I was just like, okay, how many people said, God, this is the way that my life should be. This is the way it should look. This is the mission field I want to go on. This is how I want to spend my energy. This is, how many of us do that, and then God, who created us for his purpose, with his gifts, tells us, but I have something else for you. And we, as the created being, tell God, no, you got it wrong. Like, I'm gifted in this area. I wasn't meant to just sit still, Lord. Other people should be still and know that you are God. Like, I should be out harvesting the harvest. Like, that's what I want to do. I want to preach the gospel. I want to lead worship. I want to raise kids that are just in love with Jesus. And then this, like, how many of us do that? And I know theologically we don't have a say in our life. We don't have a say in what we look like. We don't have a say in where we're born. We don't have a say in the gifts and the talents that God gave us. And we don't have a say in the circumstances that present themselves in our lives. And you know this. And every trial you walk through, you know it differently. But then it hits you when God takes away something that you really believed, was your forte, and God totally levels you out and says, you be still. And you know that I am God, and that I hold all these things together, and that these are my kids, and this is my ministry, and this is my gifts and my callings. And what if, and this is what he told me, he said, what if your only goal this season was intimacy with me? What if that was it? Is that enough? And so that's what I'm learning. But when days get rough and I physically can do nothing, those are the days I actually have to choose to take what I know and change my attitude and change my heart. And like I taught my kids the other day in James, to rejoice in this suffering because it's going to produce patience. So it's one thing knowing those things, but it's another thing when you're in the thick, horrible, like having 30 seizures a night and you can't sleep because you keep having seizures and you're so sleep deprived and you're in this brain fog where you're not even in the real world. Like I feel like I haven't lived in the last 5 weeks. Like I'm stuck in this alternate reality and I can't get out. And it's kind of maddening. And I'm stuck in this head of mine. Seriously, that's what it feels like. And it's in those moments where you tell yourself, soul, like I think this is why David told his soul, bless the Lord. Because I think David, when I read through the Psalms, which I'm doing slowly, because I have to read them in French, and there's a lot of vocabulary I don't know. But I think King David understood that type of, like you're stuck, you know? And then also the mentality of, I am so extremely blessed. Like, people have been bringing me dinner every night. And people have been helping with gas money because we had to drive all the way to Minnetonka and Edina for my appointments. And I am on this absolutely gorgeous, quiet, peaceful property, which is the exact rest that I need. Because I am finding that I have not truly rested in 20 years. I don't know what rest is. I don't know how to stop. I don't know how to slow down. I don't know what rest is. So that's me pouring out my heart. That's what God's teaching me. I'm on day 4 of this keto diet. I'll keep you guys updated on how it's going. I am assuming it's going to get very hard in the next few weeks, as much cream and butter as I'm eating, like hunks of butter. I'm eating cheese and butter sandwiches. I'm eating whipped cream, like probably 5 cups of whipped cream a day. Like, it's a crazy amount of fat. But I'm blessed. And then now I start therapy twice a week for the next 3 months to a year, who knows. So that's what's going on. That's an update. I did not expect to get that personal and vulnerable, but there you go. That is what God's teaching me. And I think that's a work he wants to do in all of us. So praise God. And thank you guys for the prayers. I love you guys. And I'm going to go spend time with the Lord now. So Jesus is coming.